Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. It is 9:02, and a reminder that this hour of News and Views is brought to you by African Muslims Agency. And don't forget, later on we will be taking a listen to the Fired Up series with Hafiz Imran Chunara, Personal Excellence Mentor and CEO of African Muslims Agencies. But right now we're going to be joined by Moulana Mohamed Tariq. He is the executive member of the Sunni Jamiatul Ulama South Africa, SJUSA, and he is the spokesperson communications of the organization. So let's get talking about the latest developments as far as the issue around SAHUC is concerned, and what is actually being talked about within the community is the capture of Hajj and Umrah by SAHUC. And we do know that there's been talks about lawsuits, there's been meetings, there have been a lot of role players involved regarding this matter. Now we're hearing that there has been a notification of suspension in terms of clause 17.3 of the Constitution of the South African Hajj and Umrah Council, which is, of course, SAHUC, as amended as per their constitution. Moulana Mohamed Tariq is standing by to talk to us about this matter. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To Sister Julie and the listeners of Salam Media.
Moulana, are you feeling as frustrated as the rest of us, the Muslim Ummah in South Africa, are feeling regarding this matter? We kind of hope that by now there would be some sort of resolution, that the two parties come together, that there's clarity on the situation. We also know that this matter has gone up to government level. Ibrahim Rasool has also been involved in discussions. Where do we sit right now regarding the suspension of your organization, and what does that say? Two things: the reflection on us as a Muslim Ummah, and the way forward for Hajj and Umrah for the South African Ummah.
I think it's really sad for this to take place in this manner. And what's disturbing, if I give you the facts and the factuals about this, is our members of the Sunni Jamiat went up for the so-called meeting to change the constitution on Saturday. And while they are at the entrance or somewhere at the meeting, then they are informed that, listen, SJU members, we will send you a WhatsApp. And on this WhatsApp, I think, is what you call the suspension. So what worries me is, why didn't they actually email them in advance, knowing that, yes, they've been invited to the meeting? And why would you wait for them to come all the way to Johannesburg and then send them a WhatsApp saying that they suspended? I mean, everyone has valuable time and everyone has times to do a lot of things, but they took the initiative to go there. So what my organization feels, the SJU, we're being suppressed and we're being oppressed. And what they basically did was to suspend us because we voice the opinion of the voiceless masses and Muslims of our community. And for that reason, you have suspended us. And then on your documents, you tell us that we cannot discuss this with anyone, we cannot discuss this to the media, we cannot do etc. I feel this is totally unfair for this nature to take place, and then suspend an organization, SJU, who has the long-standing and more accountable to the community, and you suspend the members because of whatever your reasons are, but come to a gathering or come to the meeting and give someone a notice like this. It questions an Islamic ethos, it questions the Islamic ethics and the type of leadership that SAHUC has in order to do this. Yeah, disputes do happen, ikhtilaf does happen, and this is the rahmah for the ummah. But at the end of the day, to be treated in this manner, as the SJU is also founding members of SAHUC. They're one of the founding members of SAHUC. But we were part of them when it's a regulator. But this is where it stands, and our teams are currently, I think our members are currently in dialogues today with the different department and taking different advices. And inshallah, I think by the end of today, we'll come to some resolution as to what is the way that we want to channel forward and what we want to do.
So, on what grounds was the SJU suspended?
So they got a long story in the letter. I'm sure everyone has got it in the media, saying that they suspended us and the reasons they put in today. It's something that it's baseless. Whatever they're saying, and in a nutshell, what they're saying is basically we transgressed in the terms of we voiced our opinion. What do we voice? We voiced our opinion to say from a regulator you want to become a business. That's all we have done. We have a right to do this. And then you want to suspend someone like this for this.
Surely, if you are representing the people, if you are a regulator and you are looking out for the interests of the Ummah regarding Hajj and Umrah, there shouldn't be anything that is not accessible in the public domain. Why should there be things that are confidential? Because it is the public's money that keeps an organization like SAHUC in operation. It's our fees that we pay towards Hajj. You've got to pay an admin fee or whatever it is that they call, which actually enables them to continue being in operation. So really, it doesn't make much sense at all. And then the question to your organization is: in the past, were there not concerns at the way SAHUC is conducting itself, even before this debacle came to the fore? Were there not issues that you were concerned about as an organization on the board of SAHUC that were raised? And what sort of responses did you get in the past with concerns regarding the running of SAHUC, if your organization and a lot of other people seem to deem that SAHUC is not operating above board?
No, in the beginning when we supported this whole process, I think it was a regulator process that we supported. And in the regulator process, obviously, it's not a business. So there were not much queries. Yes, they are good that SAHUC obviously have done in the beginning as a regulator. We're not denying the facts. We're not saying no, that, hey, yes, SAHUC has 99% bad in it and whatever. What we're saying is, yes, they were good that they also did. They were, at that time, as a regulator when they did stuff. Our organization supported this entire process because it was a regulator process. The time that we raised objection now was obviously when they changed from a regulator. Obviously, for them to change their constitution, you would see the initial being born, why they have been formed, is not there. So that is why they now want to change the constitution to change into a business. And that is what they're absolutely doing at this current moment now. So they have changed the constitution on Saturday. Now they're going to obviously rally around the whole community to do an awareness program, and they want to be a business operator. So basically, how now you will pitch it out that SAHUC is a business now. So in this way, now we said yes, as their regulator, we were full support of them when they were a regulator. And my organization gave them the full compliance, gave them the full commitment as a regulator, because they was a regulator. But when it came to the change of the status quo, then obviously this is when our concern was raised, because the community then came to us and said, no, but you have 2 seats on SAHUC. How can you support this? How can you bring about this here? But in the current status, if you see, there are many other organizations who now realize that reality has struck them, and now obviously they're also considering to pull out of this. So some of them are saying the organizations, when given this mandate, to go and vote. So this is now the concern, because the status is now changing and it's ringing a bell to everyone at the moment.
Okay, so clearly SAHUC has a strong legal team, and that is why they can act possibly in a unilateral manner, as they are doing right now. What is your legal team saying about the current situation?
Our legal team is obviously today, our guys are speaking to the legal teams, and obviously they're getting legal advice. But at the same time, the bottom line, as much as we want to get legal advice, we need to find out whether SAHUC is a legal organization to represent the masses of Muslim to Saudi Arabia and the Ministry of Hajj. They're not. So at the end of the day, what is their legal status? Can they give us a letter from DERCO to say that yes, they are the approved body that has an agreement with the Department of International Relations to say that they are mandated to represent the masses of South Africa when it comes to the Hajj ministry? They don't have it. They can come on after me and show me that letter or send that letter to our officers and tell me that DERCO has given you this letter and you are in possession of this letter. Then yes, let's come round the table and talk and show me that you have this letter. You don't have this letter.
Moulana, how many people sit on the board of SAHUC? Are they paid members of the board? And should SAHUC be dissolved, what is that impact going to look like on the South African community, the Muslim community, in terms of Hajj and Umrah?
I've said this from the outset that the Hajj 2026 must go on. With SAHUC or without SAHUC, it has to go on. If it goes on with SAHUC, it's going to be a disaster. No way we're going to make the Hujjaj deprive Hajj. There can be an interim committee formed nationally with all different role players and all different walks to make sure the facilitation of Hajj is then obviously put in place. The other question that you asked me, I think they're plus minus, I think about 26 members they got in the NGC or 26 organizations, which from far and wide they got. Some of these organizations are from Lenasia, some of the organization members of SAHUC formed these organizations and they're part of. So these organizations, whether they get paid or not, I'm not 100% confirmed of that. But obviously, there are, I think, many organizations that they have that they put in to form the NGC. That obviously the NGC they must consult and do these things. And we're part of the NGC. We're part of the founding members of SAHUC, and this is where we stand with this here. But because we spoke now, then obviously this is how we formed it, and this is how we are at it at the moment now. That yes, because we spoke out, then we're now given a letter of suspension, and then we're told not to talk to anyone or not to discuss the suspension.
What's going to happen now that you're talking to me here on Salam Media?
I've got no issues with that because it's just a letter that they wrote to my organization. My organization has given me the mandate that you speak, and we're ready to face whatever it is.
What do you believe is the best solution forward? Because as you and I speak, never mind the South African Muslim community, even I am spinning right now, quite confused, not quite sure what is SAHUC's true agenda, because as everyone is now talking about them wanting to move from a regulator to an operator, the repercussions of that is that there's going to be a lot of people out of jobs. They're going to lose their jobs. The travel agents that were truly dedicated to Hajj and Umrah will have to shut their doors. We in South Africa can't afford further unemployment issues. How's that going to all play out? And does SAHUC, from what I understand of the few people on the board that I know of, do have other jobs, that SAHUC is something that they are doing for the betterment of the community, but they do have other jobs that can keep them going, that can pay their way. What's going to happen to the operators and all of
I
the people
totally
that work?
agree. I totally agree. I totally agree with you saying, and I understand how you're saying this because obviously this is what it's going to lead to. But I think right now, SAHUC is only concerned about the ministry gave them an order, the ministry gave them a direction, who's going to do housing, who's going to do catering, who's the service provider there. All they are interested is currently what they have to drive. So they want to drive their ship. Who sinks with the ship, who sails with the ship, they cannot be interested. All they want is to sail their agenda, push their agenda, what's the consequences, what is the consultative process, looking for people, taking opinions. They could have spoken to my organization, said to my organization, reason with us, tell us, let's explain. But it's like, hey, you know what, there's the highway, and this is what we're doing, and that's how it's going to be. And that's the approach that they're having. That's the approach that they're having. It's their way, and that's how it's going to be. I
Oh,
wonder how those people, thousands of people who feed and they have children and are earning a living to via this process, from travel agents to tour operators and whatever it is, how this will be. And my organization is not speaking on the basis. We're not a business. We don't take people for Umrah or Hajj. So we don't do this. My organization does not do this. So to us, we're feeling the pain of the every sector of the community to say how will they be affected by this? And yes, the most important thing, the interest of the Hujjaj. And I don't think they have the interest of the Hujjaj.
okay. We're also hearing, I'm going to keep you for a few minutes longer, but I need to ask you one or two very important questions. There's a lot of accusations and counter accusations being bandied about in our community. On the one hand, we are hearing that somebody from SAHUC had made a statement that the operators were overcharging the Hujjaj. And now, if SAHUC is going to take ownership of this, this new format, however it's going to play out, whether it's going to still be named SAHUC or whatever it is, are they going to guarantee the Hujjaj of South Africa that it's going to be a non-for-profit Hajj and Umrah, that we're not going to be charged the astronomical fees that we've been charged in the past?
They can't
Because if that,
guarantee
if
anything
that,
now. They can't
if
guarantee anything now. As that,
Maulana, all right, Maulana, if that is in fact what they're aiming for, to make it a non-profit Hajj and an affordable Hajj for everybody, then I'm for it, all for it. But if this is for
so,
self-enrichment,
sister,
if
how
this
will
is for
they be a non-profit Hajj when they already changed from a regulated to a business? They have a business now. Sauk is no longer what you would call. They're still probably in place of an NPO or PBO, but they are business now. They are tour operator now. They are business.
so, all
Now,
right, so
if
in
they are
connect,
their business now,
right, so let me ask you this question. If they're an NPO, can they legally run this show as a business? Is that not some sort of a conflict of interests?
so that's what we're saying from the beginning. Your initial reason why you were formed and what you are changing for has now changed the status quo. And then who gave you the mandate of this now? The entire South Africa didn't give you the mandate to this now. Now, if you're
Maulana,
saying
in
the who
your
charge the Hajj operators were charging extra, then why do you as a regulator? Because you had access to everything. In my entire speaking that I'm in this matter, I'm told that SAUC also are signatories of bank accounts of travel agents. That even if they needed to do anything, that's how controlled they had it with travel agents. So if the operators were charging extra, why didn't they go and step in and say the operators you're charging extra? Because they had control of everything. They had the control of the tour operators' bank accounts. So why they
sure.
didn't do this? They
So,
are
all right,
signatories of the
Maulana,
tour operators' bank accounts.
this is, you know what? This is getting scarier by the minute. Absolutely scarier by the minute. In your opinion, Maulana, is there still an opportunity for the different parties to sit around the table, resolve this, where nobody points fingers at the other, saying that you're in it for the bottom line, for making money? And let's form an organization that is going to serve the Ummah. Let it be a true non-profit, and let's make Hajj affordable to one and all. Is that a possibility? Keeping in mind that, yes, they would need X amount for running costs, which nobody will dispute, but as long as it's not an astronomical amount, that it's a reasonable amount that will cover whatever their running costs might be. So, is there an opportunity, and who else needs to be involved to make this happen?
We need to get all the role players on board and we need to get everyone. And I don't think SAUC is taking this matter serious by consulting with necessary people. Likewise, if my organization was there from the beginning and we are founding members, treat us with respect, treat us with seriousness, not on the day of the meeting give us suspension letters. This is not how it operates. Leave alone everything. If you have a difference of opinion, even in the time of Nabi alayhi salam with the Sahaba Ikram, there were differences of opinions. So where's our democratic right in terms of, yes, if we have a difference of opinion, did you try to make us understand what you're doing is right? Did you try to make us understand your process? Or did you open your laptop and say you have some demand and letter that is there and not show the letter to everyone? How this comes into place? Treat us with a little bit of respect. Treat this matter of the Hujjaj with respect. And as you said, if it's amana, what's so secret about this? If I have a document from the
Absolutely.
ministry, let me put it everywhere and give it to everyone and say, this is what I've been told. There's no other way about it than this. Let's get to reality and see how we're going to find ourselves and find a plan to this.
And if you are in
That's how
fact
it works.
representing, if you are in fact representing the people, then you should play open books with them. There's also stories going around within the community that SAHUC is sitting with a very, very big bank balance. So the question is, where does the money come from? Whose money is that? If SAHUC does
Whatever
close
money they
down,
possess at the moment now, whatever money they got, it's the money derived from the process of Hajj. Whether it was registration or whether it was fees the travel agent paid to them, they got these monies from Hajj. And that is why I asked the question in your last interview, how many people Sauk took for Hajj and how many poor and underprivileged that Sauk had taken for Hajj or Umrah? No.
gosh, frightening indeed. Um, the other issue is I'm very concerned that I see people from the organization OCAF are also on the board of SAHUC. An organization like OCAF should really be giving SAHUC direction, shouldn't they?
Yes, I'm saying these are all role play organizations that are now realizing, yes, that what are we getting into and how are we going to account for this here? It's not just about giving your vote. It's your vote is meaning you're supporting the whole process. Are we selling all the Hujjaj to this and saying the Hajj of the future will be this? So we're calling for an organization look into this matter seriously.
Okay, I need to actually read out a message from Shamima Dolly Sali. I think she's an attorney or an advocate. And I think for the purposes of this meeting, pardon for this interview, I need to just read out her post. She says, when you know the history of SAHUC, when you witness their correspondence and actions towards pilgrims and operators, when you know the actions are ultra, I'm not sure what she's trying to say, ultra, and when even the Department of International Relations investigation team has noted that their acts are unlawful, when you open your eyes to the lack of diversity on the boards, and who is controlling SAHUC, who oversees SAHUC and finances, what happens when SAHUC is removed from the list, the money and the property secured up to now. I presume that is what she's trying to get at. Um, okay, there was a legal terminology that Shamima used there. Ultra vires means unlawful. Thank you, Shamima, for that. And I guess throughout the interview, this is really what I was asking, was I not? What happens now? Uh, what happens if and when SAHUC is disbanded? Is there still an opportunity for the different parties to come together and make this workable? For SAHUC perhaps to still play some sort of role, not a role of an operator, but some sort of an oversight management role. Is that a possibility? Maulana. Okay, we've lost Maulana there just as we were making some very we were making some progress, but I think I did kind of put out the questions that's bugging me as a layperson. Thank you, Shamima Dalisali, for the legal questions that you've put there. Um, and as a layperson, these things are bugging me. I'm worried. I'm worried about the future of the hujaj. I'm worried about the implications, the repercussions, the affordability, the ease with which we can perform these religious duties of ours. But having said all of that, I'm going to leave you with those questions, and perhaps you can respond to us. And undoubtedly, Inayat Wadi, my colleague, will raise this once again on the Wednesday night show. But I also understand that someone would like to come on air to comment, and this is someone with very deep thinking. Abu Bakr from Ladysmith, I think he's given this issue lots of, he's researched it absolutely and thoroughly, and he would like to comment. Abu Bakr Karwa, assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you, Sister Julie?
Alhamdulillah, with your
Okay.
duas.
Yeah, the pity that Moulana came off air, but well, if Sister Shamima Dolly is listening in to a couple of things. Yeah, SAHUC does act with impunity, and previously the auditors were found, guilty of misconduct by covering up for SAHUC and fined a hefty 1.4 million rands fine. They don't bring all this to the public. So there's two very serious irregularities. One is they have a registered with the CIPC, registered company, NPC, called South African Hajj and Umrah Council. But in their constitution, they were saying they're unincorporated, and on their financial statements, they say they're unincorporated. But this company is in existence, and people familiar with, companies and close corporations to submit annual returns. And in the annual returns, it says that they are in business and they are active, but they don't disclose the existence of this company. So that's one of the serious irregularities. Secondly, about the confidence and trust one can place in the, board or management of SAHUC. So they went and registered for VAT a couple of years ago, value-added tax, and that adds on an extra 15% cost, on whatever registration and accreditation fees the judge have to pay. So, and they went and spent like...
Can I stop you there, Abu Bakr? Can I stop you there? If they are a regulator, why did they go and register for VAT? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, see, like say their income exceeds the threshold of 1 million rand, but there's no necessity whatsoever to register for VAT because they're rendering their service, in another foreign country and they're exempt. That's an exempt service, so they shouldn't have registered. But the thing is, they're squandering Hujaj money. Like they paid consultants who were milking SAHUC about 600,000 rand to register for VAT, which is an absolute waste of money. Plus, they had to pay like interest of over 1 million, and then further late penalty and submission fees. They paid about another 700,000 in late penalty fees. All absolutely, that's like about 3 million rand just wasted. Absolutely unnecessary. So how can one place reliance on them to cut down costs when they are just wasting the Hujaj's money? So those are two very serious irregularities, which brings their, efficiency into question and their credibility.
Governance. It's all about governance.
Very poor corporate governance, and what I mean. They're breaching their fiduciary duties. The position of trust that they are holding. And I feel like the suspension of the SJU is just to stifle any criticism of their activities. So just coming back to the findings, of the IRBA, the Independent Regulatory Board for Auditors, which was a couple of years ago. Their previous auditors were found guilty on 7 different counts, and this basically the financial statements no reliance. Hello?
Very, very
Hello?
pertinent. and important issues. And I think best, and we also need all of this detail to be shared with the general public. So we hope and pray, inshallah, Inayat Wadi, we will in fact ask him to make contact with Abu Bakr Karwa and cover this on the Wednesday night show. This is a hot topic for us as an ummah here in South Africa. This is about our um, a pillar of Islam. It's our Hajj, and of course the Umrah as well. And we need to get it right because we are answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only SAHUC, we as the general public as well are answerable, because Allah will ask us, so what did you do to stop any nefarious activities? You as a Muslim, it was your duty to step in and correct the mistakes. Maybe SAHUC are not aware of, poor governance or overstepping boundaries. Maybe they're being misrepresented. We don't know. But we do believe all the parties do need to get together, and people like Abu Bakr Karwa, Shamima Dolly Sali, people in the know, legal eagles, they need to come around the table. They need to give direction to SAHUC and to all of the other role players, inshallah. And I'm going to have to leave it there because I am running out of time. A very serious matter, and lots more discussion around this issue. As I've indicated, Inayat Wadi will take this up, inshallah. It is 9:33. We will move on. And let's go for an ad break. One last thing from Shamima Dalisali. She says, please ensure DIRCO and CRL comes to respond to the public. It is very important. Noted. Thank you indeed, Shamima. And we now need to take a break and move along with our other interviews for the morning.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning, or for that late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, now we cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger, in addition us to keep on relieving hunger. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786